Hi, welcome back to another live stream. This is Infinite Possibilities, and
Hi,
I am doing a mic
welcome
check
back.
right live stream. This is Infinite Possibilities.
Okay, that's not working.
And hi, I gotta turn off my mic. There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, welcome back. This is Infinite Possibilities, and for this. This is really weird. It's it's showing this green bar right now. This is an important update. Oh my gosh, I don't want you to. All right, let's just do max performance. I can't afford you to go set down on me. Anyways, yeah, welcome back. And we are going to go discuss this expansion post that was made by Devin. Okay. I'm looking at drop frames 911 5.3. Okay. We have a technical difficulty right now. I am going to stop this live stream. I'm going to make a new live stream, and I'm going to make this live stream 720p instead of 1080p because I don't know why. Whenever I do like 1080p, it tends to, not work with me. So I'll be right back. Thankfully, we're just beginning right now. Oh, that's really big. Okay, you gotta. Okay, cool. I don't have to make a new video. All right. So for people that are watching this in the future, you can just skip. You can just skip. To like the first 10. You can skip the first 10 minutes. Hopefully, we won't crash the live stream. I made it 1280 by 720. Actually, I made a mistake. Hold on. I should have prepared this earlier. And okay, what I should have done was I should have made the base and the output both 1280 by 720 and not 1920 by 1080. That doesn't really make any sense. And encoder preset is at max performance. All right. Anyways, for the final time, hopefully we won't crash this live stream. We are going to discuss about the post that Devin made yesterday. I wasn't able to do it yesterday because I was busy, but I'm not busy today. Yeah, let's just go read this right now. Let's get straight into it. And yeah, there's a lot of things to go talk about. I even have my own, list of outline right here. All right, so FusionFall Retro's future, 2020, and expansion. This is actually really exciting because, yesterday it was just a regular, boring day. It's been like 60 days since like the last, patch notes update, and this was unexpected. But let's read this. I'm excited. Actually haven't really read this in depth, so before anything else, I want to give a huge thanks to those who have supported us and continue to support us. Without the players, none of us would even think this would be possible. I speak for everyone on the team when I say thank you so much. And kind of a quick plug here. If you want to interact with the developer Devin, go join my Discord server. He's actually a active member inside of the server. So far, over this past year, we've had quite a few updates, seasonal events, like Halloween. That was more than a year ago. We had the birthday bash, we had the Valentine's, we had so many updates, and they were all fun. My favorite one would definitely have to be the 2019 birthday bash. Did it? Oh, okay. Did my live stream stop? Okay, it's still live. I'm getting kind of worried. Don't drop on me right now. This happened so many times. I don't know why. We've been figuring out technical things as well with brand new textures, model porting from later versions of the game, world editing, model imports, and everything we really could have dreamed in order to update the game as we see fit. Things have been going well on that front, and while we don't want to slow down on permanent content updates, we've had some ideas for more ambitious updates. And did it? Wait, did it stop? Okay, did it stop? You're getting me kind of worried. It's still live. All right, it just okay, it's back. All right, I apologize. This is out of my control, so I don't know why. This is Canadian internet. It's actually one of the slowest in the Western world. Anyways, things have been going well on that front, and while we don't want to slow down on permanent content updates, we've had some ideas for more ambitious updates and content. So let's just break this down. And me, my personality, I want to really dig things and just overanalyze things, kind of like what happened with like the Time Squad update, where I'm just trying to predict as many things as possible. So let's break this down. Seasonal events. Okay, so we had... Actually, let's go to the Universal Item Guide. The first one was the Birthday Bash, which was, a lot of fun. Definitely my favorite event. And it was really nice to see all of these brand new items to have come into the game. Now, the reason why I kind of want to bring up the events is because I also want to go talk about, the certain milestones that FusionFall Retro has made in regards to development. Now, when it came to FusionFall, when it originally came out, when FusionFall Retro originally came out, the original plan was that it's going to be pretty much like exactly the same game as it was up to the point of the Birthday Bash. And in a way that was kind of very limited, because although we had the game, like we could always have a lot more. In fact, there's this forum post made, I think, earlier in this year called, it can be found on the FusionFall Retro forums. Devin posted this on February 12, 2019. This is also also the first person to post there. Interesting. This was also a very significant post, and since I want to make this live stream more than 1 hour long, we're going to go read this because this is very important and it's very relevant to the rest of this live stream. So again, this is from February 12, 2019. Hey everyone, this is going to be a lengthy post addressing some of the concerns we've been hearing in regards to us adding content to FusionFall Retro, so buckle in. First and foremost, we'd like to address why it is simply not feasible to go about leaving FusionFall Retro as a snapshot in time. Games like FusionFall are exclusively online and are designed to have an influx of updates in order to keep player interest past what's there initially. A large portion of the gameplay loop relies on players interacting with each other, and should we leave the game static as a snapshot of what FusionFall was, like what I said earlier, general interest in the game would gradually decrease as people complete the game and defeat Lord Fuse. And, we're at this point right now, actually for a very long time, where there's so many level 36s. Don't quote me, I'm making this number out of my ass. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 1,000 plus level 36 characters inside of the game, and for a small for a small community, having like 1,000 level 36s, that's a lot. As the number of players decreases, the less people there are to talk to, trade with, team up, and so on. So the less fun the experience gets for everyone. In fact, it's very likely that in this scenario, the number of players, that's a notification, would eventually decrease until it got to the point where it simply wouldn't justify what it costs to keep FusionFall Retro online. So basically what that paragraph is stating is they can't just keep an exact copy of the original game, because if they just never update it, then eventually all of their hard work will be for nothing, and the player base will die because there's a lack of updates. I mean, we can clearly see this happening right now. I mean, like there hasn't been a serious patch notes in the last 60 days, and like the community on the forums, we've been receiving like less than 100 members each day on the forums. So I'm kind of pessimistic about that. While it is unfortunate that there isn't a snapshot of the game where you can play a version of the game exactly identical to the one playable in January 2010, hosting that separately would be expensive and also fragment the already small community. And our statistics back up new content and events being very much beneficial to the health of the community as a whole. And, just to add on to what Devin says, basically what he's trying to say is that updates keep the game alive. And if you've noticed, when we're inside of that in-between period, when there's like a drought in updates, kind of like what we're having right now, there's a sharp decrease in terms of activity. And when there's a brand new update, so for example, like when the Ben 10 update came out, there was a sharp increase in activity, and then after a few days, it's going to eventually lower away. So updates are good for the health and longevity of this game. Next, it's important to address why the content we are adding is not identical to the updates that the original FusionFall received. Now, this is very important because a lot of people are kind of wondering, like, why are you adding in all of this stuff that was never here in the original FusionFall? Now, the first point they made was updates are good for the community. Through FusionFall's life, the game went through two separate teams of developers, being the original team behind the game, so that's, Grygon Entertainment, the Korean company that unfortunately went bankrupt, and a later team brought in after about a year to take over updates. And don't quote me on this, but I think Devin is referring to the official Cartoon Network staff. So like maybe after Grygon got bankrupt, Cartoon Network took over. I'm kind of quoting from that Ink Tank video. I recently watched that before I decided to make this live stream. The second team that was updating the game didn't adhere to the first team's plans and instead were tasked with making updates that were more so used as advertisements, which resulted in an oversaturation of lower level missions with very little late game content added throughout the game's life. Paired the second team's extremely controversial removal of the future zone, we elected not to go down this path. And I find it kind of interesting, they say elected, so like it makes you kind of wonder, like in terms of development, is it like a democracy where everyone only has one vote? That's pretty interesting. While we know we have the resources, tools, or assets required to be able to totally faithfully adhere to the original team's intentions, we're striving to remain as faithful to the original plans for expansion as possible. Oh, okay. So was this like one of the things that was kind of foreshadowed, and now we're finally receiving that? We'd like to stick to their original ideas and concepts that we've been able to uncover and implement as much as we can in a way that feels organic to the original game, interesting for the players, and faithful to what was originally planned for FusionFall in 2010 and beyond. So this is this is why I'm reading this, because it's very important. It's very relevant to this new post that we've received yesterday. Right, so again, just I want to go read this. We'd like to stick to their original ideas and concepts that we've been able to uncover. So I have this video that I'm going to go show you in a bit. I actually discovered this when I was doing Picture of the Day. And it actually shows a lot of the... Oh, I got it. So Spencer BPD is asking, it does make me wonder, how long have they planned, how long have they been planning this expansion? So that's a good question. I think they've been planning this for a very long time. I mean, like, the concept of FusionFall Legacy itself started, I think, like 2015 and 2016. And you know, in fact, what FusionFall Retro is right now is basically what 2015, 2016 FusionFall Legacy was supposed to be. Finally, we'd like to address what FusionFall Legacy is in relation. I'm not going to read this right now. Is in relation to FusionFall Retro, since there's some confusion on that front as well. The original goal of Legacy from some years back was to recreate the original game in entirety. So this is what I recently stated, while also introducing a few new elements to keep things fresh, as we've been doing with Retro. As you may be able to guess, Retro already fills that role and has for some time, so we instead decided to go in a completely different direction with Legacy. The goal of Legacy now is to be a completely separate game with different mechanics, combat, features, items, NPCs, while still being a FusionFall game. Now I'm going to talk about that and touch upon that probably later on in the video, and I'm going to try and link this expansion with FusionFall Legacy. So the story and ideas of Legacy in both lore and gameplay are born from FusionFall, but we've revisited nearly every single aspect of the original game and decided to address if it felt fun, if certain things felt meaningful or needed to be present in the game at all, and if we should be introducing new elements to make something more coherent. The short version is that FusionFall Retro and FusionFall Legacy are totally different games. And to expect FusionFall Legacy to simply replace Retro down the line is not a sound mindset, especially considering the shift in game genre between them. So this is actually something that I kind of want to go place emphasis about. FusionFall Legacy is not FusionFall Retro Plus, or like not even FusionFall Retro Plus Plus. It's going to be a dramatically different version of FusionFall Retro. Because the developers, with their limited tools, they can only change so much with a 10-year-old game. Whereas in FusionFall Legacy, they can dramatically change it as much as they please, you know? So we're almost done here. Last two paragraphs. The story and ideas of Legacy in both lore and gameplay are born from FusionFall. Oh, I already read that. We hope this helps those of you who are confused or even against FusionFall Retro receiving updates and new content understand why it is important that the world of FusionFall continue to expand, and we hope that it's made clear that we're doing our best to make sure that everything we add feels right and remains faithful to the core ideas behind FusionFall Retro to the best of our ability. So, in summary, just to go repeat the points, the main reason why they're adding new content to Retro and not making it like a carbon copy of the original is because updates are good, and it makes the community grow and, you know, keep on coming back. So now that we read this, we're now going to read this. You know, so permanent content updates, brand new vehicles, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I actually have something important to say about this, permanent content updates. Let me go back into the forums. Actually, let me go log out. So yeah, I'm gonna go log out. And I believe it was the Halloween thread where I was quoting Devin. Here it is. Yeah, so this was September 22, 2019. So this was kind of a while ago, but it's still, you know, very recent. This is the context behind this is this guy was asking, I was thinking about how great the previous events were, but having the same ones every year might get dull. I wonder, is there any other events they could do? Some ideas I have are New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. And, Devin replied stating, we're admittedly trying to move away from events like last year's seasonal stuff. They can be cool, but our focus is on permanent content, as this stuff can take a while to create, and for it to only be experienced for a very short time before it's gone for the rest of the year isn't something we really want. Important, Devin said that there will be shows post 2012 added with the upcoming expansion. I can show you on Discord. Yeah, please show it to me on Discord. And actually have that on my outline, Adventure Time Generator Rex. Please send that to me, Spencer. So yeah, this is I bring this up because people are kind of wondering, like, are we going to get more events? And the answer to this is located right here. We are going to get more events, but the amount of effort I believe is going to be a lot less. And an example of this would have to be during the 2019 Easter event, where, for example, if you can recall, all we had was like a recolored egger vendor that just gave us, the Easter eggs for like 2K a piece. And if you spent it like 200,000 taros, you would get all of the Easter items. So this is something that we can probably expect for the future of events, that is going to be a lot less effort, but still deliver, because they want to focus more on the permanent content that will stick around for the rest of the year. And instead of it being here for only 1 month, it can be here for, like the rest of the year. Yeah, we already had the brand new vehicles. So again, since we're talking about the expansion, it's not just, there's other things that I kind of want to talk about as well. So again, we had that vehicle update. Again, let's go to the universal item guide. The vehicles are located right here. We had, like 50 plus new vehicles, and this was great. It was a small yet very meaningful update, but I kind of have my own complaints because the vehicles are expensive, right? They're like 50,000 taros, and they only last a week. And honestly, as active as I am on the FusionFall community, I only really log into the game like 3 times a week. And I kind of wish there was like a daily rental system, or if like they had like the same exact price, but it lasted for 2 weeks. I think that would be a much better deal. But okay, so anyways, the reason why I bring up the vehicles would have to be because, hopefully it's right here, would have to be because in future expansions, we could potentially see more vehicles. So Spencer sent me the message, and so this is from I'm kind of hesitant to go sell this because Devin doesn't like it when we talk about what he says, including some shows from okay, any shows from after 2012. Okay, that's actually really great. We can talk about that. I'll add that into my outline. And 2012 post 2012 shows. That's another topic that we can talk about for like 10 plus minutes. But yeah, Devin doesn't really like it when we talk about what he says on Discord. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing up the vehicles is because although we had the vehicle update, there's actually a lot more vehicles that have never been shown inside of the game yet. So we haven't had like the Viridian hoverboard. We haven't had the Johnny Test jet bike. So probably eventually, if they are going to reintroduce Johnny Test, then I wouldn't be too surprised if there's going to be a Johnny Test. I keep having a notification. Jet bike. Have you had the Aku jet bike? And we had the Octus hoverboard. So eventually, if they're ever going to reintroduce Symbiotic Titan, we could definitely have this. I believe the Sunburst hoverboard is not released yet. This needs to be updated. The Pyronite comment. is this out? Mechamorph jet bike. The Charmed hoverboard, that's not out yet. You know, there's a whole bunch of vehicles that have not been released, and you know, here's another one. So like eventually the Candy Kingdom Cruiser, you know, once eventually Adventure Time, you know, like rolls in, very likely, I really hope that it comes in. We get to go see these vehicles. A Generator Rex jet bike. They have the files, right? So we might be expecting like a vehicle update 2.0 or like, you know, vehicle update 3.0 because there's definitely a whole bunch of them. Here's one with the Absolution, and for the people that don't know the Absolution, that's related to, you know, Toonami, circuit board, Six's hoverboard, Lumpy Space Person, Generator Rex glider, Chorus glider. There's so many vehicles that they can definitely add, right? And you think that we're nowhere near the amount of vehicles, and in fact, you know, like a whole bunch of the vehicles that we see here, for example, such as like the Eggplant Mobile, I believe, don't quote me on this, they were designed from scratch from like the FusionFall Retro developers. So we can definitely expect more vehicles and a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay, we've been figuring out technical things as well with brand new textures. So again, brand new textures. So this is like another thing I kind of want to go talk about. You know, in the last few updates, in particular with like the Ben 10 update, like they updated the textures with Coop. They also updated the textures with the Powerpuff Girls, and we can definitely see in the future of 2020 that they're going to keep on upgrading these NPCs and make them much more representative of their looks on FusionFall Legacy. So let's go to, it's on desktop, I think. Legacy photos, developers blog. But yeah, like, you know, these were models that were, you know, introduced many years ago with like the developers blog, and now they're finally inside of the game. So something for ourselves to look forward to. And like another thing that I want to talk about, which is also on the outline. This is going to be a very long live stream because there's just so much ground to cover. Would have to be, you know, just going back into FusionFall Legacy photos and trying to connect the dots and try and predict what can potentially come out for 2020 retro. Like, for example, we might be able to go see like a Jack Nano. We might be able to see a Boomer Nano. We might be able to see like these monsters right here from like Townsville Zoo, right? So that's something else that I'm going to go talk about. World editing, model imports, and everything we really, model imports. Yeah, so this was another major milestone in FusionFall Retro. So for a very long time, we actually thought it was like the community thought that it was actually impossible, but well, I think impossible is just like another word for very unlikely. But for a long time, people were thinking that it's impossible to add in brand new NPCs into the game. However, again, with the significance of the Ben 10 update, which made a huge milestone, we had the Spider Monkey NPC, we had the Amphibian NPC, we had like the Echo Echoes NPCs. Those are significant milestones because for the first time ever, the developers can actually add in stuff that was never in the original FusionFall. And if they can do that, then to be honest, like the sky is the limit. If they really wanted to, they could add in as many Cartoon Network characters they possibly can, you know? So that's another significant thing. Things have been going well on that front, and yeah, that was a long time. How long have I been talking about that? That was 26 minutes. And for people watching this in the future, you know, you can just watch this video like 1.5 times faster. All right, so here's the really exciting stuff. See you later, Spencer. All right, so new levels, nanos, and areas. Here's exciting stuff we can talk about. So expansion, you read that correctly. We want to expand the game with more levels, new nanos, and even brand new areas. So a lot of things to go talk about that. monsters, and characters. With everything we've learned over the past year, we're confident it can be done, and we've made some plans to gear up and work toward the release of our first expansion. So this is significant because they're going into uncharted territory that the original developers never really did. So like that's really great. So again, I have this on my outline, like new nanos and even brand new areas, but for now, let's keep on reading our plans. You may be wondering exactly what we're planning for our very first expansion. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel, and in a way, we just kind of want to dip our feet in the water and get a feel for getting over some of the challenges we expect to face when developing it. We've already laid out an internal roadmap, and okay, so in other words, I already have like a plan, and gotten to work on some of the logistics. But here's a taste of what you can expect. All right, so we're gonna really break this down. All right, 4 additional levels. Wow. So we're no longer going to end at that very awkward number 36. I always felt that was kind of odd. Like, I think it would be a lot better if we just ended it at like a pretty round number at like level 35, but we ended at like, level 36. So we're going to have 4 new levels. So levels 37, levels 38, levels 39, levels 40. That's massive. Okay, but let's break that down. Fully featured with missions. Okay, let's start with missions. Okay, so, I was kind of talking about this like inside of my Discord server. The link is inside of the description. And, Devin was also involved as well. Let's go into FusionFall missions and let's go into the retro world missions. So this is kind of like some pseudo mathematics, trying to like, use our past to predict our future. And let's just do this right now. All right, so 36, 35, 34, 33, right? So let's just take levels 33 to 36 and find out how many missions there are on average. And we can use that to kind of extrapolate on how many missions we're going to have for the expansion. All right, so for level 33, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's, 15 missions at the time of this live stream. Hopefully I did not miscount. For level 34, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And level 35, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for level 35. And, for level 36, we have ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 level 36 missions. Hopefully I did not miscount this. I kind of feel like I miscounted, but so 15 plus 11 plus 12, divide that by 4. We can, that's like an average about 10 missions per level. Now I have something important to say. So again, since the timing of this live stream is on October 18, 2019, and the Time Squad update is confirmed. So people that are watching this in the future, like the Time Squad update is confirmed. He stated this inside right here. And, I have my own like mission series, speculation, part 1, part 2, and part 3 about, the Time Squad update. I'm pretty much the only one making videos about it. And we can probably expect, once the Time Squad update arrives, to have more missions in the Darklands. So therefore, it's probably, there might be like, 16, 12, 7, 7, maybe something like that. But basically, we can probably expect, and again, this is kind of like pseudo mathematics, like for like level 37, we can probably expect around like 6 to 15 missions. So at level 37, 38, 39, 40, we can probably expect like around like 5 to 15 missions, and you know that takes a lot of effort. So like one of the main reasons why, hopefully I can find it on the forums, but it was Devin talking about why there's like a lack of missions for events. The main reason for that is because making a mission actually takes a lot of work when you really think about it. You have to first write the plot, right? And then you gotta do all the fancy programming where you have to, kill monsters. Like what's the programming behind? You have to kill these monsters. You have to kill 10 monsters to go get this item, and then you have to go back to this NPC, and like the waypoints, right? Like the mission journal. There's a lot of effort being done just for like one mission, and if we can probably expect a range of like 5 to 15 missions, that's going to take a lot of work. And again, let's just use some pseudo mathematics. Let's just say that it takes like 5 hours to go make like one mission, right? And we have ourselves like an average of 10 missions per level, and you multiply that by by 4 levels. It's like 200 hours, or like that's like 8 days worth of work, like real hours. That's a lot of time. So that's something to also consider about. Like you also have to consider that the developers are doing this for free, and they're also doing this in their free time. And we can probably expect, the reason why I bring this up, why it takes a long time to make a mission, is we can probably expect that the expansion is likely not going to come out in the first quarter of 2020. And like what is the first quarter? So like a quarter is 3, 6, 9, 12. So we can probably not expect the expansion to come out during January, February, March of 2020, and it's much more likely for it to come out in the second, third, and fourth quarter, unless there's like massive delays with the project. They've essentially confirmed OKKO for Legacy. That is, what do you mean by that? Okay, let me go see if all right. And that's another notification from my Discord. I sort of turned that off. And okay. All right, yeah, okay, we talked about the missions. So another thing that we also have to consider is not just the world missions, right? So like expecting a range from like 5 to 15 missions per level. Those are the world missions. They also have to make brand new guide missions, and we have 4 guides. We have Dexter, we have Ben, we have Mojo Jojo, and Double D. Now if we now this is kind of odd because we're going to have 4 levels, and there's going to be, with 4 new levels, there's going to be new guide missions, right? Now let's go search up FusionFall retro guide items. Oh, my item guide is right there, and it's really nice. Guide rewards, right? Okay, so like the final sets for each guide would have to be the plumber shock, the samurai set, which in my opinion is kind of ugly. I really wanted like a Samurai Jack outfit. Like it's like his actual cloak. We have the beast armor from Grim Adventures, and we have a sacked set. And it's kind of odd, like we have 2 sets that are both from the Ben 10 universe, because sacked agents come from Ben 10. Yeah, Mojo Jojo. Actually, yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Mojo Jojo actually has kind of like one of the funniest missions. My favorite set from Mojo Jojo, where is it? Why are you not loading? Okay, where are you, man? My favorite set from Mojo Jojo would definitely have to be the Forever Night set. My favorite set for Ben 10, I'm kind of biased because like my main character is called Plumber Infinity, would be the plumber shock outfit. Favorite outfit for Dexter would have to be the Space Jack one. That's what my other main character, Infinite Possibilities, is wearing. And my favorite set for Double D would have to be the Urban Ranger outfit. That's one of my favorites. But what was I talking about? Okay, we have 4 new levels, right? And what's odd here is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 levels, 6 items. So, like, how are they going to do this? Are they going to add in, like, 2 more levels eventually, and then we're going to have our first we're gonna have our 7th complete set around like level 42? And if it's going to be like that, so it's not just 4 new nanos, but it's going to be like 6 new nanos, right? But again, everything you hear from me is speculation. I am not part of the development team. I sometimes get in trouble when I say that. Anyways, okay. Yeah, so a range of 5 to 15 world missions. We have 4 guides, and 4 times 4 is 16. So, 10 times 4 levels, right? 10 times 4 is 40. And 16 plus 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So what we're probably going to have around like 60 brand new missions once the expansion rolls out. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, are they going to release the 4 levels all at once, or are they going to slowly add it, right? That's a question that I'm kind of wondering about, because like they could take things slow, release level 37 first, have some community feedback, take in that feedback, and then release level 38 with the feedback given, and therefore it's not all at once. But I think they might just release levels 37 to 40 at the same time. Okay, so what am I talking about? So we can probably expect not just 4 new levels, but like 2 more additional levels, because we eventually have to go complete like that 7th set. Now, when it comes to the sets, what kind of sets are we going to have? That's like something to really look forward to, and I kind of have an idea. I have an idea on what kind of set they probably might release, and like the items are already there inside of the game files, I think. And okay, it's time to go into the past, and we are going to look into this old video. It was made by this legendary FusionFall player. His name is Luther Fall Angel, and very controversial individual, but he's also one of Devin's best friends back then. All right, so FusionFall, Luther Fall Angel, and it's actually really significant. It's a short video. What is this? Okay. And, that's really unfortunate. Why does this have so many dislikes? Okay. It's a 30-second video. It's actually really significant. It came out in, when did it come out? It came out... Oh, this is not the video. Luther Fall Angel, unreleased sets. Here it is. So yeah, this was released 8 years ago. Doesn't give you the exact date, but yeah, he found these items 8 years ago. We already have these items, if you can remember. This is like April Fools. We have the Magician set, which is found in City Point, Infected Zone. And here's a set that I'm talking about, the Vilgax set. He actually places huge emphasis on this set in particular because it looks really cool. So let's just pause on that. So we can probably, I think it'd be really cool if like the 7th guide set is actually going to be like the Vilgax armor set, right? That'll be really cool. Here's like the way big set. You know, that was released on like the first day when Retro's Past came out. Oh, here's the signed Ace jacket. Oh, here's like the bank set that, you know, the Morbucks wears. Here's like Agent 6 set, so we can probably see these items be released in the future. Here's the Generator Rex outfit, really cool. And, you know, even to this day, like 8 years later, Luther Fall Angel still has an impact in the community. You will be missed, Luther. He's unfortunately gone from this world. Anyways, yeah, so that's what kind of set that I kind of want for like the 7th set for like, you know, Ben 10. To be honest, I'm not a fan of this samurai outfit. You know, this comes from Samurai Jack, but I actually talked about this with like my picture of the day live streams, and I think a much better outfit would have to be, you know, from season 5 or season 6? Yeah, it's season, I'm forgetting the number. 5 or 7. Oh yeah, it's season 5. Samurai Jack season 5. And I think this would be really super duper cool. Let's go make this into a GIF. Yeah, this outfit, like, imagine having this gun as your weapon, man. I would love to have that as like a level 42 ultra rare shatter gun. That's amazing. Another one would have to be, where's the rest of that outfit? Yeah, here it is. Okay, I need a better photo of this. Samurai Jack, season 5 armor. Yeah, here, this one right here. I would love to, you know, actually have this inside of the game. The vehicle exists. Imagine having this as a vehicle. That the mask exists. It's like it's a full-on armor set, and he has like his knives, he has his own guns. Just absolutely amazing. But that's something I would really want, and it would make a lot of fans happy if they can add that for like the 7th set. And I guess they probably wouldn't mind because, like, in my opinion, like the samurai armor we have right now, it's not my favorite. So, like, you know, with Mojo Jojo, you know, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm kind of making this up on the spot right now. Let's just very quickly go into like that Halloween thread, because I actually posted a lot of, you know, photos, and not just that, because there's a lot of, you know, actually no, there's no Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy representation for Mojo Jojo outside of the Beast set. But let's just go here. We can probably get some ideas. I also made a live stream for calling all designers. I made some photos. That was a car honk, if you heard that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, like, yeah, it'd be really cool if if we can have this as a set for, you know, like our 7th set. That's pretty funny. Have this guitar as well as a shatter gun. You know, this is some pretty awesome stuff. Or have this as a weapon. Right? Yeah, here's Billy dressed up as Dexter. Pretty cool stuff. Or have this as a mace, as another melee weapon. Or have this set, and I made some other stuff I found on the internet as well. Or like another one here. Okay, here's from like the KND. You know, so it doesn't have to be hold on. It doesn't have to be, you know, from it can be this, right? It can be this outfit. This looks pretty cool, or something like this, or this, or like that, or like this. There's a whole bunch of costumes that they can definitely use for Mojo Jojo. And for Double D, again, there's just so many sets that they can possibly use. Like let's go to the wiki. Ed and Eddie. Ed. Be pretty fun. It'd be pretty funny if we can have this as an outfit. Probably not as a guide outfit. But yeah, I can't really find it right now. But let's just move on. Let's go move forward with like. It's okay. We talked about the missions. We talked about guide missions. That was another huge thing to talk about. And yeah, let's go talk about monsters now. Okay, so monsters. Yeah, they're like there's a whole bunch that we can use. So again, like looking from legacy photos and looking from official legacy photos, we could probably see these monsters right here. This guy is called the Grand Gorillion. Gorillion. And he's found at, I believe, Townsville Zoo, which is, I believe, one of the planned areas for FusionFall Legacy. We can probably see this. Another one we could probably see would be this monster right here, the Roadblock Rampage. That'll be pretty cool. And we have ourselves the Elephantine Enforcer. Imagine seeing these monsters, these never before seen monsters that were never even around in the original game to be here. Another outside of that, there's some other monsters as well that we can probably expect to see for 2020's expansion. And let me see if there's some other photos right here. Developer's blog. No, I was already there. Devin. No. Okay, let's go into picture of the day. Okay, older pictures of the day. And we might be seeing these like very, very subtle recolors of the Barrel Bashers. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I just can't find them right now. Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, this stuff right here, we can probably see this, but yeah, so we already have some ideas on what they could potentially, look like. Swiggy Swag, what's in the bag? We already have the Gorillions. I still need to level up my first character. Yeah, definitely. Leveling up your first character. I'm gonna do a quick plug. Universal Item Guide, link is inside of the description. There's this thing called, where is it? Called the Mission Checklist. And it actually has all of the missions very conveniently organized for you to consume. Extremely super duper helpful. And okay. And items. Okay, let's talk about. Okay, we're not done talking about monsters. We're not done talking about that yet. Okay, so let's go and talk about world bosses. FusionFall world bosses. And yeah, here's the photo that is mine. Well, it's not. The monsters are not mine. I was the one who labeled them. But yeah, so let's talk about world bosses. And Devin was here talking about the world bosses. And And let's just let's go look into this. So we have the Gatekeeper, and there's actually footage again from the very infamous Luther Fall Angel. We already have the Shipwrecker, so this is kind of outdated, and we have the Dark Horntail that was released. So something we can probably see in FusionFall. In FusionFall's expansion would definitely have to be the addition of these other world bosses. And I actually was commentating on how they're going to appear. I'm going to talk about that real soon. So we have ourselves the Column Colossus, which is not yet here. We have the Stone Scorpion, the Injustice Foe, and we have ourselves, the Gatekeeper. And, the most highly anticipated one would be the Gatekeeper. I'm going to show you footage of the Gatekeeper because not everyone knows what the Gatekeeper is, and you're going to be really amazed on how cool this monster is. So FusionFall Gatekeeper Legacy is from Luther Fall Angel. This is from 8 years ago, guys. 8 years ago. His legacy is still here today, and just absolutely amazing. Look how massive this dude is, and I believe this is actually to scale. This, if Gatekeeper was to be implemented inside of the game, this is how huge he would be. He's so huge you can actually climb on top of him, and that's really amazing. Absolutely amazing. And if you want to know about the history behind this, again, you can just go inside of that thread. I was asking Devin about how did you find these monsters, and how did you react? But yeah, this is definitely the most anticipated world boss that we're going to have inside of the game. So anyways, let's go and talk about how these world bosses are going to potentially be implemented inside of the game. And this is another topic that I want to make. This is, in a way, kind of deserves its own video. But again, I kind of just want to make this video like an all-in-one. It has everything you want to go talk about. So let's see. By user, infinite possibilities. Hopefully I can go find myself here. Profit? Is this the one? No, world boss. I actually have 2 pages of these. Halloween thread. Oh, here's actually a pretty interesting one. So, that photo that I showed you, this is actually not all of the world bosses. So if you could remember during the 2019 birthday bash, and if you were around there, you can very quickly search it up. That was another form of a world boss. So was the Party Popper an unused boss too? The Party Popper was an interesting one. There were 3 unused turret-style mobs left over in the game, being the Spore Leaf turret, which was scaled up and used for the Party Popper, a stone turret, and a metal pyramid turret. So we've never seen these ones before. The pyramid was eventually used in Vilgax's ship, but the other 2 never saw the light of day. I bet we'll find a use for the stone turret at some point down the line. It was definitely the coolest of the 3. So again, we can probably see these turrets be used in 2020. Unfortunately, there's no photos of it available online. I tried searching for it, but I can't find it. Let's see. I have content updates, new areas. Okay, I think it was this one. Okay, yes. Okay. Alright. So the origin for the photo comes from this thread. I'm happy to know my predictions were correct regarding the Shipwrecker and Dark Horntail. I predicted the Shipwrecker would be placed at the island at the coast of Bravo Beach, and I also predicted that the Dark Horntail would be placed at Dinosaur Pass due to its dinosaur-like appearance. We have ourselves the Gatekeeper, the Injustice Foe, the Stone Scorpion, and the Column Colossus left. Okay, this was posted June 30, 2019. Oh, it's 11:11. Okay. Is it 11:11, 11 seconds? Just past that. Okay. All right. So I predict the Gatekeeper is going to be the last one to come out. There's footage of him in the original FusionFall. I've already shown you that. This is going to be his size. Okay, so let's talk about the cool one. Regarding the Gatekeeper, these are my predictions. Hopefully they might be correct, and hopefully it might age well. So regarding the Gatekeeper, I predict he's likely going to be located somewhere in the later levels of the Darklands, such as Hero's Hollow, the Precipice, Green Maw, or Fuse's Lair. Knowing that the Dark Horntail is a level 40, the first of its kind, we can predict that the Gatekeeper will be of a similar level beyond level 36. Because, like, why is the Dark Horntail level 40? Whereas this giant Colossus Behemoth, I wouldn't expect anything less beyond 40. I would be surprised if it's not level 36 or beyond that. I would not be surprised if it's level 40 or higher, and will take at least a group of 4 to defeat. With its placement, the bridge connecting Green Maw and Fuse's Lair is 1. Adding him to Fuse's Lair is unlikely, as there is not enough space outside of the dome, which would seem odd to place. I think if they were to add the Gatekeeper, they would probably create a piece of land somewhere at the Fusion Matter Sea, similar to what happened to the coast of Candy Cove. So, remember like the Valentine's update, where they added in a brand new piece of land? There would be a somewhat large piece of land there where the Gatekeeper will roam. So again, we have these news that they're going to make new areas. So this might potentially be out of date. Maybe the Gatekeeper will be placed within these new areas. Right? It may be placed within a level 37, 38, 39, level 40 area, right? And possibly that level 40 area is where the Gatekeeper is going to be. So for the Injustice Foe, and again, the Injustice Foe looks like this guy right here. He's supposed to be the culmination of the Justice Friends from Dexter's Laboratory. He's part Major Glory, the Infroggable Kronk, and Valhallan. If you paid attention during Dexter's first guide missions, there was a journal left behind from Major Glory that he went to go to the Darklands and mysteriously disappeared. Following this logic, we could also assume that the Injustice Foe could be located at the Darklands, with the Gatekeeper being placed around probably levels 33 to 36 area. We can probably see the Injustice Foe somewhere at the Fire Swamps, Fire Pits, Hunter's Crest, or Dark Glade. It's not going to be Dinosaur Pass because Dark Horntail is already there. Now, again, this information is kind of out of date, and again, with the announcement of this update, we could probably also see the Injustice Foe within these brand new areas. And I was reading around on the forums. I can't find it right now because the forums have so many messages, and I believe so in other words, don't quote me here. Don't quote me. I believe Devin stated that the Injustice Foe was basically supposed to be this final boss because Dexter's guide missions are heavily related to the missing heroes. So eventually, Major Glory, Valhallan, and Kronk, they all went missing, right? And as they were missing, maybe Fuse got their DNA to create the Injustice Foe. So let's just say level 36 or level 40 or level 42, the final guide mission is going to be defeating the Injustice Foe. Okay. So for the Column Colossus and Stone Scorpion, I'll be brief here. The Stone Scorpion looks like to be found somewhere at Devil's Bluff, Devil's Canyon, Nowhere, Area 51.5, Upper or Lower Catacomb, somewhere around that region where it's dry. Also, since the Dark Horntail comes in a group of 5, we can probably also anticipate the Scorpion to not be alone, would travel inside of a group. So again, Dark Horntail travels in a group of 5, right? So they established that precedent that a world boss doesn't have to be a world boss. It can be world bosses. Dark Horntail comes in a group of 5. I wouldn't be too surprised if the Stone Scorpion comes in a group of 5 as well, or like a group of 3. And for the Calm Colossus, we can also probably see him at the Darklands. However, if my educated guesses are correct, and that they're not going to add more Darkland bosses due to the addition of Gatekeeper, Dark Horntail, and Injustice Foe, it's unlikely he's going to be placed at the Darklands. He might be placed somewhere around the ruins, or maybe nowhere Area 51.5, where those stone statues are located. So to directly answer the question, since our last 3 world bosses were at the Darklands, Dark Horntail, Downtown, Shipwrecker, the Suburbs, Rage Roadkiller, we're likely going to see our new world boss at the Wilds. From this, I can assume the next one that's going to be added would have to be either the Column Colossus or the Stone Scorpion. So these are speculations. I'm not part of the development team, but we can probably see these world bosses come out in 2020. Okay, let's go close these tabs. And if you're enjoying this video right now, please do leave a like and subscribe. At the time of this uploading, once I reach 500 subscribers, which is real soon, I'm going to have a very special event for my Discord server. The link is inside of the description, and the winner is going to obtain 500,000 taros, as well as some other really interesting prizes. Okay. Okay. 2 brand new areas and items. So again, let's go finally talk about items. All right, items. So this is going to be relatively brief, or maybe, I don't know. All right, so items, man, there's just, so levels 37 to 40, are we going to have recolors, right? Right, so let's go. Actually, I actually recoloring items, something that I've been really wanting to have inside the game for a very long time would have to be like, would have to be this Onyx Angel or Fallen Angel set inside of the game, and just using what we have right now, like the game has this pattern when it comes to items, and like we have the Ruby Angel set, but alongside that we have the Sapphire Angel, which is blue, like the Emerald Angel, which is green, the Amethyst Angel, which is purple, and the Gold Angel. So it has a series of recolors, as well as with Tech Tactical we have the Tech Saboteur, Tech Camo. So I think something that I think a pretty likely thing that's going to happen in regards to brand new items is that they're going to add in recolors of the already existing items that we have right now. And I can kind of argue the main reason why is because it's a lot easier to recolor an item than to create a brand new item from scratch. Right? When it comes to recoloring an item, again, I don't really have any developer knowledge. All you really got to do is just mess around with the hue and saturation levels, and you have yourself a recolored item. This is not an item. That's the Dracula Nano, but we can definitely see that. So we might have recolors for Giga Sealed, the Angel series set, the Tactical series set, the Circuit set, the Ninja set, and that's something to also look forward to, right? Now let's talk about the economy. So once these new items appear, these brand new grindable ultra rares, the economy will definitely be very happy about that, because we finally have some new items to not only for ourselves to collect. We can grind them, and I'm kind of wondering, if I'm kind of wondering, like, once these new items are going to appear, what are going to be the most expensive ones, right? So we have ourselves like the S tier items, and I have a question here from Peter Nolt, and he's asking, do the world bosses just roam around? Yeah, the world bosses do roam around. So like Don Doom and Bad Max, they roam around across, Pokeyoks, as well as, go to Peach Creek Estates, as well as, the Rage Road Killer walks around at Habitat Homes. And actually, let's go to the world bosses, right? So we have Dark Horntail. On the right side would have to be their path. And let's go to the world boss document right here. It's a good thing you bring this up. Let's very briefly talk about world bosses, right? And okay, we have ourselves Don Doom and Bad Max. Here's Rage Road Killer. They definitely do roam around. Here are like the points at which they spawn. And thanks to Noble Ash and Johnny Swamptooth for the map. A shipwrecker doesn't really move around and just stuck at that island at the corner of Bravo Beach. But yeah, it's a good thing you bring this up because I made a thread many months ago regarding Don Doom and Bad Max. Like, are they going to come back to the past? Yeah, I made this thread right here. August 14, 2019. This was, a couple months ago. So in the original, Don Doom and Bad Max were placed in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if the devs re-add these world bosses back into the past with buffed up stats and brand new items. Perhaps recolors of the existing stuff. So the existing stuff for, Don Doom and Bad Max can be found right here, like the Don Doom shirt, the Bad Max set, the Super Slayer outfit. I actually have recolors for these things. Just type in FusionFall Retro Recoloring Items thread. You'll be able to go find it. I have dozens and dozens of these items recolored. Yeah, so the 1 year anniversary has already passed, so we could probably expect these coming out within the nearby future, if not in the next few months. I'm hoping it comes out, hopefully this year. If not, I really do want them to come out. And if they do come back into the past, I'd like them to have like recolors of this. So for example, like a Black Leviathan, there's another one from, so we have this response from Devin. So I'm a big proponent of this. It's not a super high priority, but I feel like it would be a good way to introduce truly unique gear to these bosses, as well as get some unique suburbs bosses out there. Okay, so man, this kind of makes me want to. So Devin supports this, but we need some clarification. Just because Devin supports something does not necessarily mean that the rest of the developers support what Devin wants. Again, from the beginning of this live stream, we were talking about like they had to go vote about this, and I believe for a long time the community thought that code items will never come back, because Devin was saying on the forums that they're not going to come back, but apparently, they came back. But I feel like it would be a good way to introduce truly unique gear. So if Don Doom and Bad Max were to come out in 2020, then we could probably expect that not only are they going to be in the past, but they're going to drop actually unique gear. It's not just going to be recolors such as this, but something truly unique. And another thing would have to be some unique suburb bosses out there. So this is probably some hopes and aspirations that we're probably gonna get like world bosses inside of the suburbs. That'd be really cool. I possibly another one, you know, in regards to world bosses. There's not the only world boss in the suburbs would have to be the Rage Road Killer, which is located at Habitat Homes. Um, anyways, yeah, thanks for bringing up the world bosses. Let's go back here. What was I talking about? Okay, so yeah, we're talking about items. We're talking about grindable ultra rares. That's gonna look great, really great for the economy. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to go grind for, and you know, as the person behind the Universal Item Guide, I'm gonna have a lot of things to document. You know, like I was the one who literally had to grind every monster inside of the game, and you know, even with like uncommons, I had to, you know, I had to document all of this information almost entirely by myself. It was very long. These are the this is information that never really existed in the original game, but we have this now. Yeah, thanks to me. You know, this is. I need to work on this. I haven't updated this in a while, but as almost every single item, every single uncommon is located there. Yeah, so there's gonna be not just new ultra rares. There's gonna be new common items. There's gonna be new uncommons. There's gonna be rares. Again, just to go repeat the point, the easier route is for themselves to just do recolors. But I think a lot of people would be kind of disappointed if they only do recolors for the ultra rares. So you know, very similar to like what happened with like the 7 legendary sets, right? Is not only did they have like recolors for these items, right, but they also had like a brand new set, which is, you know, Cannon Bolt, which a lot of Ben 10 fans really want. So that's something to really think about. So we're looking at ourselves 4 additional nanos. Okay, this is another major topic, and I will. I've been live streaming now, like talking nonstop for 1 hour and 14 minutes. I'm going to take a very quick water break because I don't want to, you know, damage my throat. I will be right back. And while I'm away, please do leave a like and join the Discord server inside of the description and subscribe. I'll be right back. I do have something kind of important to say. It's like 11:31 in the morning, and my father, he likes to go. Uh, he likes to go back home to go eat lunch. Um, so there might be noise, and if there is going to be noise, I'm gonna kindly tell him to get away. Uh, anyways, items. Yeah, we talked about that. And let's go talk about nanos. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Peter. I've been kind of burping a lot lately. 4 additional nanos, including Flapjack and Johnny Bravo from the original game. Okay, so man, I haven't even used the outline. I think this is probably the time we're going to use the outline. All right. Okay. All right. And people ask me how many hours I've invested into this universal item guide. I've invested more than 200 hours into this guide. And you think that's a lot, but when was this guide made? It was made on... It was made... It's on the bottom right now, I think. Oh, it's on the second page already? Wow. It was just a lot of activity. That's 27 pages. Almost 24,000 views and 401 replies. February 1st. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About like... No, you think like 200 hours is a lot, but I only really spend like 30 a day. So like the hours do add up over many months. Okay, let's talk about nanos and let's go into the FusionFall wiki because there's going to be a lot of important information about these nanos. All right, so nanos. If you go online, there's this video from Amazing Aura. Actually, let's go there right now. FusionFall, Amazing Aura, nanos. Here are all the nanos from 2013. We miss you. You're playing the game, but you're not uploading any videos. Okay. Let's just first watch this video. So again, credit to Amazing Aura for this video. And credit to this person. He's from Eastern Europe. Are you gonna show all the nanos? So here are all the nanos. Oh, you're not gonna you're just gonna do that? Okay. Anyways, so they mentioned Flapjack and they mentioned Johnny Bravo. And where is he? Okay. I kind of hear my dog barking. So I might have to go let him. He's a very spoiled dog. Okay. Yeah, he's barking. Knowing his attitude, he's going to keep on barking. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get my dog. All right. My dog. You can see him in the camera. All right. All right. He's a very spoiled dog. Hopefully he doesn't bother the live stream. Oh, yeah, so Flapjack and Johnny Bravo. So yeah, okay, this is really nice. They're actually conveniently located next to each other. All right, so the Nano Powers for Flapjack are Drain Point, which is actually useful for grinding, Sleep, Self Area, and Group Run. Maybe we can use the video as a way to like find out the names of these of their powers. Wow, a less than 2-minute video for wow. And for Johnny Bravo, we have ourselves Stun Area, which is really helpful for grinding, especially when it comes to grinding. Monsters that come in groups. Very underrated because like Leech and Drain, kind of like overshadow Stun Area, but it's very useful. And we have ourselves a Run Self, which is honestly not that great anymore because because of a vehicle update, and we also have a pretty useful Revive Self. So the powers for these nanos are actually good. They're good. We have Drain, which is good. Sleep, it's actually bottom tier. And Group Run and Stun Area, but I think that the better nano in terms of powers would slightly be Johnny Bravo because all three of these are useful. Whereas for like Sleep Area, you're very likely not gonna use it ever. And let me just talk about nano powers. I actually made a in-depth guide about nano powers, which you can find here. Nano Power Selection Guide. So when you level up, you can choose the optimal nanos. Just took 14 pages long. But yeah, just check that out. And they're both adaptium too. So it makes me kind of wonder, like, it makes me kind of wonder. All right, okay, so the missions are called Captain Courage, and these are a few of his favorite things. And it makes me kind of wonder, are the nano missions going to be exactly the same? Are they going to do like a copy and paste from the late era of FusionFall? Let's go here. Flapjack, FusionFall Nano, and okay, here's from Mega Legazord. It's a 3-minute video. Again, credits to him. And are they gonna do an exact copy and paste? I mean, like Flapjack is located here at Leaky Lake, and we know at the time of this live stream that Flapjack was removed from Leaky Lake, and in fact he's not even inside of the game. I'll be. Oh, my dog is just being annoying right now. Okay, yeah, but I don't think they're going to do an exact copy and paste of these nano missions, because I think Flapjack is going to probably be relocated within these brand new areas for the 2020 expansion, and it would be very odd if this nano mission is going to be located at Leaky Lake. Let's go inside of that lair. So again, I don't think they're going to do this. I think what they're going to do instead is that they're going to make a completely brand new mission for Flapjack, as well as a completely brand new mission for Johnny Bravo. So let's go into the one with Johnny Bravo. So Johnny Bravo, FusionFall, FusionFall Nano. So again, credit to Lego Megazord. This was April 30, 2011. And again, he was located, where was he located? At Orchid Bay. And you can definitely see like the former Ice Kingdom or Ice Castle, Ice Fortress is located there. And again, this is located at Orchid Bay. And if Johnny Bravo is going to probably be a nano for the later levels beyond level 36, I would think it would be kind of odd if he's going to have a nano mission at Bravo Beach, you know. So perhaps they're going to, you know, rip to that guy. They're going to, again, just completely make their own brand new nano missions from scratch, or, you know, take some elements such as, you know, this ship right here, which is interestingly the same ship found at the shipwrecker at the coast of Bravo Beach. They probably might be reusing these assets, right? And such as this, as you can see here right now, and it might probably be like the same fusion, but with like a different, you know, plot. Another thing that we can also try and consider, if the nano missions are going to be different, what else will be different? Are they going to change? This is very unlikely. Are they going to change from Adaptium to another type like Blaston or Cosmic? I think that's very unlikely. Are they going to change the Nano Powers? Well, at this point, these Nano Powers are very good. There's nothing wrong with them. But let's just look into, I don't know, some of these other nanos of relatively bad powers. I don't know. These are all pretty good. This is good as well. There's not a bad nano. Actually, yeah. Secret Saturdays. This is okay. Like Diamond's Point, it's completely overshadowed by Drain, by Leech, by Stun, and ironically, Diamonds is not even a grinding power. So like, are they going to, for example, change the abilities of future nanos? And if they do, would it be difficult to do that? I mean, of course it would be difficult, but like, would it be worth investing the time to change these nanos? Because assuming if they already have the files for these nanos, right? Assuming they already have the files for Johnny Bravo or Flapjack, and let's just say they want to go change their nanos to something else. So instead of like Drain Point, it's actually Heal. So a problem with that is, or a potential difficulty with that would have to be the voices behind this, because every time you use like a Nano Abilities powers, the nano is going to have to go say something regarding that. And I guess it's kind of time consuming, and they could definitely do that. But I think it'd be pretty cool if we can also change if the developers can also change the abilities of these nanos as well. So yeah. 4 additional nanos. So they've confirmed, Flapjack and Johnny Bravo, and it kind of makes me wonder, what are the other nanos going to be? What are they going to be? Okay, so just going here, we have ourselves Symbionic Titan, Johnny Test, Amphibian. I wouldn't be too surprised, but then again, we already have so much Ben 10 representation. I'll be right back. My dog is doing something. My dog is bothering me right now. Okay. That's a Symbiotic Titan, Johnny Test, Ben 10. We could probably see more Ben 10, but again, there's already so much representation. But I think probably the most likely one would be, Alien X, which is, I believe, one of the most popular nanos. And in fact, there was a voting competition in the subscription era of FusionFall, the original, and the community voted for what nano they wanted. The community voted for what nano they wanted, and at the end, it was between Way Big and Alien X won, and the rest is history. So I think if we are going to add in a brand new nano, I think for Ben 10 it would be Alien X, and Alien X is cosmic, definitely makes a lot of sense, and he has health, self area, and these very worthless powers. I mean, recall is useful as it serves a very unique niche for racing, especially if you want to have all-time scores. But, I really hope that they can make these powers a lot better, because I think it's an absolute waste that Alien X is the most powerful of all of Ben's aliens, and his abilities are not really describing that. And I think some potential ones would have to be transforming health self area to perhaps health group, or health healing yourself, as well as a useful grinding power such as stun area, drain area, or leech, as well as as you're leveling up, such as scavenge or bonus. That would make things a lot better. Yeah, Recall for the win. And hello, Spell, welcome to the live stream. I've been live streaming now for 1 hour and 35 minutes. We've gone through not even half of the document, so there's still a lot of things to talk about. I want to make this live stream, I want to talk to as many points as possible. So yeah, let's go repeat ourselves. We already talked about that. Okay, so cheese. So I think another potential likely nano we can possibly have would have to be cheese. The files are already there, and again, I think just going back with the Flapjack and Johnny Bravo mission, they're probably going to dramatically change the Nano mission. And I think a reason why Cheese is going to be probably one of the first 4 brand new Nanos is because Cheese is already inside of the Darklands. He's already level 34. He's already located at Heroes Hollow, which is level 33, and it makes it very convenient. If you're going to make the expansion at the Darklands, which is probable because that's like the late game area, then I wouldn't be too surprised if Cheese is going to be there. Now, what's great about Cheese, as annoying as he is and as lovable as he is, he actually has 3 really good nano powers. With Run Self, it's not that useful when it comes to leveling up doing the campaign, because you have your vehicles, but you can use Cheese as an alternative for racing. Scavenge is also really useful while leveling up. But that kind of doesn't really make sense when you think about it, right? So assuming if cheese is going to be part of the later level nanos, why the heck would you want to have scavenge at like level 34? That is so incredibly late. Like, the general advice when it comes to leveling up, if you want to level up 24% faster, you must have scavenge, and you can get it as early as level 3 with Buttercup. And I have this here, Nano Selection Guide. You can find that inside of the Universal Item Guide, extensions extensions to the guide, right? It's located right here. Made it up myself. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you have cheese level 34? It gives you scavenge. That is so ultra late, and I'm hoping that the developers change scavenge to something else a lot more worthwhile. So yeah, I can definitely see cheese. I already talked about Alien X, and I think a lot of people would definitely want to have like Generator Rex or Finn, because like if you can remember during the Academy era, there's a reason why Generator Rex, Finn, and Alien X are the first 3 nanos you receive. It's because at the time of that, during that time, those 3 shows were the most popular, and in fact, Adventure Time, you can argue, is the most popular out of the 3 of them. So I think, if you want to do some fan service, I think a lot of people would be very happy if you can include Adventure Time, Alien X, or Generator Rex within these 4 new nanos. But let's look into these nano abilities. So Generator X actually has very, very good abilities. He can also be your racing nano. He has damage cone, which is not really that good. He has stun cone, which is like an inferior version of stun area. And we have ourselves Finn. Again, he can be your racing nano. Revive, it has its very own niche, when it comes to fighting Mega Fusion Echo. And we already talked about Alien X. So we have a bunch of all these other nanos right here. Possibly, Finn. Possibly Jake the dog. But let's talk about Jake. So we're talking about nanos, and it makes me kind of wonder: are they going to also redesign the way these nanos are going to look? Because one of the main complaints that I personally have when it came to these brand new nanos was that some of them look very kind of goofy. Like, for example, there was Jake, there was Rigby, and they look really huge. Rigby looked very big for itself. Jake was very big for itself, as well as Gumball and Darwin. They were very big nanos, and I think like Amphibian was apparently like very small. And it kind of makes me wonder, are they going to redesign these nanos and make them look a lot better? Now, another thing that we can also try and consider, which I'm going to try and transition into a bit, would have to be, what is it? I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, we were talking about nanos. We're talking about nano abilities, powers, missions, their location. Okay, so let's talk about code items. So if you can remember, back in the past, that we had these code items for nano capsules. We have Finn, we have Rex, Alien X, Gumball Watterson, Rigby, Darwin, Mordecai, Princess Bubblegum. And with code items being available, it kind of makes me wonder if they're going to go like the cheap and easy route and just give us these code items for nanos. And it makes me kind of wonder if they're gonna go down that route. And I'm kind of don't want to do that, because these nanos right here, they can definitely have their own mission, and I would definitely like to put in some effort to obtain these nanos rather than just very simply putting it inside of the code and I would get them, immediately. But I suppose one convenience if they do that. So for example, let's just say they add in. Let's say they add in. Okay, who were the code item nanos? So let's just say they add in Finn, Rex. So Finn, he has jump. Rex, he has run, and who here has like rocket? I don't know who. Do any of these code item nanos have rocket? Yeah, it's like Gumball Watterson has rocket. So one of the things that kind of sucks when it comes to racing, especially if you want to race from like level 1 to level 36 and not do a single mission, is you have to wait until like level 12 until you can get your number 2 Wilt and Professor Utonium Nano. So I think if they want to go down the route of adding code items for nanos, they can definitely do that by making the racing nanos such as Generator Rex, Finn, and Gumball Watterson as nanos you can unlock as soon as possible. But I think due to the popularity of Generator Rex and Finn, it would definitely be kind of a waste if they do that. Maybe for like the lesser nanos. Okay, so another thing that I want to go talk about would have to be, it doesn't have to be these nanos. It doesn't have to be these nanos that came out in the free-to-play era of FusionFall. And the main reason why is because, we have FusionFall Legacy. We already have photos. We've had photos of Nano Dracula for a very long time, for like 3+ years. We had this photo for like 2+ years now. A dad nano. There's also a bunch of other nanos that we could possibly use. And I think one of the biggest ones would definitely have to be Larry 3000. Hopefully I can go find it. Larry 3000. Here it is. I need to get outdated info. I need to go pin that one. Yeah, so Larry 3000 nanos. And my dog wants something from me. And yeah, this is Larry. This is many years ago. You can't really find the video anymore. It's actually unlisted. But they've had this nano for many years now, for like 3+ years. And with, like for example, the time slot update, we could potentially see not just these old nanos that we see right here, but we could possibly see ourselves having a Larry 3000 nano instead. So it might not just be, like for example, Johnny Bravo, Flapjack, Alien X, and like Finn. It might be Johnny Bravo, Flapjack, Larry 3000, as well as as well as a Dracula nano, or like a Jackie nano, or a Belladonna nano, right? So these are things that we can potentially consider that not a lot of people are considering about as well. Here's some concept art of the Larry 3000 nano. This is many years old, and I wouldn't be too surprised if they already have like a fully, or like I wouldn't be too surprised if they have like a complete nano set of Larry 3000, who has his abilities, who has his voice animations, and as well as even having his own dance moves too. So that's enough about nanos. That was a lot of fun, and I think this is kind of like the thing that I'm probably most excited about. Would have to be the inclusion of these nanos. Okay. Now, let's talk about 2 brand new areas with 2 additional infected zones. So we kind of already talked about that, and it was regarding let's see. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we're kind of already talked about that regarding, you know, Townsville Aquarium and Townsville Zoo. So if you're someone that was not here earlier on in the live stream, I was showing photos of, actually let's just go to the forums right now. You can very easily look at this. So home, let's go to FusionFall Legacy Developers blog. And yeah, here's a really nice one right here. It has 34,000. It's the most viewed. No, it's the second most viewed one. Okay, they came from Townsville Zoo. So one of the confirmed areas, I believe, for Legacy would have to be Townsville Zoo, as well as Townsville Aquarium. Now, I have this other video which not a lot of people know about. I actually really had to go dig through.
Hey everyone, Wiltzel here with a super important announcement.
You can't easily find. You have to really dig it. But this is really exciting. I'm gonna talk about it in a bit. But again, one of the areas for FusionFall Legacy would be Townsville Aquarium as well as Townsville Zoo. So what we're looking at right now would be Townsville Zoo. You can actually find more photos by looking at the FusionFall Legacy picture of the day. So here's Boomer, and here is, you know, Jackie. He's from Foster's Home, and Jackie also has his own Nano. Boomer also has his own Nano. Hopefully I have it here. I have all of the legacy photos. It's just I have to go look for them. Older pictures of the day. Yeah, here's photos, and I was talking about like the plot is relating to the Blowfish plot, and I think like the inspiration came from like the Thanksgiving event. Where is there's going to be nanos for these guys. Is it on Oh, it's in the same folder. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, there's going to be like a Jackie Nano, and there's going to be a Boomer Nano. So again, just repeating what I said about Larry 3000, it may not just be a brand new. It may not just be like an old Nano. And welcome to the live stream, Burke. It may not just be It may not just be an old Nano. They might include Nanos from Legacy as a way to kind of like test the waters, which is something I want to talk about in the future, because it's another major thing that I want to go talk about. But yeah, Townsville Zoo, Townsville Aquarium, and you know, we can probably see these monsters, right? They already have the files, I think, regarding this. They have Grand Gorillion. They have, you know, the Roadblock Rampage, and you know, you can see the Boomer Nano right here. They have the Elephantine Enforcer. So that's really cool. So imagine they actually dropped this. But it does make me kind of wonder. And oh, it's Reed. Oh, welcome to the live stream, Reed. I haven't talked to you in a while in the Discord server. The link is inside of the description. Okay, so another thing I kind of want to talk about is like during the expansion, right? Are they going to add more areas in the Darklands, or are they, because you know the Darklands, it's like the late game area, right? That's from, I think, like level 27 to all the way to level 36, and there's like no other alternative area, because like, you know, for example, we have downtown and we have ourselves the wilds. There's a level 13 area for the wilds, and there's also a level 13 area for downtown. But when it comes to the Darklands, that does not exist, and also as well as for the suburbs. So it kind of makes me kind of wonder, with this expansion, are we going to have more areas in the Darklands, or are we going to have more areas in other regions, such as, you know, downtown? Now, this is actually a interesting fun fact in regards to the development of the original FusionFall, and hopefully I can where is it? Oh yeah, FusionFall map. Yeah, so I believe one of the things that was originally scraped from the original FusionFall, which never came out in the official update, would have to be Townsville Aquarium as well as Townsville Zoo. Now, there are rumors, and emphasis on rumors, this is not confirmed information, that these two brand new areas are going to be located next to each other. It might be located next to each other at the Darklands, or it might be located next to each other in downtown, or just anywhere else. But there's a rumor spreading. Again, emphasis right here. I'm not a developer. This is all speculation. There's a rumor saying that they're going to add in Townsville Aquarium and Townsville Zoo because they already have the files and monsters and probably like the mission plots already like set up. Or another interesting area would be this Skull Island right here, and I'm going to talk about that in the future. But somewhere around here, this is where, or around here, or like around here, somewhere around here, around this area right here, is where the Townsville Zoo and the Townsville Aquarium are going to be located. Now, if you actually have seen my live stream, the picture of the day live stream, I'm still doing it. I talk about them in depth. Let's go into the order pick of the days. They're actually located next to each other. If you look closely enough. So, okay, where are the photos? It's hard to, all right. Okay, hopefully, so this is Townsville Zoo, legacy photos right here that they could probably implement in FusionFall Retro's expansion for 2020. And as you can see in the background, right there is a Townsville Aquarium. Really cool, right? So they might do that. Here's Jackie following this plot. Will we have Jackie? Will we have Boomer? Will we have Jackie and Boomer in the 2020 birthday bash as cameos? That'd be really cool. And yeah, as you can see here, they're located right next to each other. And another plug, which would have to be Universal Item Guide. I talk about it here. Oh yeah, that was the latest one, I believe. And I have some fan-made music for Legacy. I made one for the Townsville Aquarium. Yeah, so yeah, we can probably see that. It may not just be the Darklands. It might just be in downtown. And yeah, 2 brand new areas with 2 additional infected zones. And so another potential area would have to be this really cool area that was teased with Fusion Within Picture of the Day. It was actually a little mini series regarding it. Where are the photos? So these photos right here, right? So we have this girl, it's raining. We have this right here, she's climbing up here. There's this tower right here going up. We have this whoosh person right here. We have this whoosh operator. That looks like kind of like a kraken, like an octopus. And we have this, an aerial view of the area. You can definitely see the terrafuser right here, the whoosh operator, the staircase that the person was climbing up through, and where's the aerial view? And this is the aerial view. And what does this look like? It looks like that Skull Island or Monster Island or whatever it's going to be called. This might be the new area. So there's a theory that I have that there's this theory. So good for the streaming video. Yeah, so there's this theory that I have that that Johnny Bravo and Flapjack, they were captured here, and you're gonna have to go do some missions right here. It's very far-fetched, but I wouldn't be too surprised. There is a patch notes from Prizzy many months ago where it stated that Johnny Bravo was kidnapped, I believe by pirates. So anyways, We can probably expect that. Now, okay, this is the really cool part. This is actually an unlisted video. You can't find this in the search engine. I had to really dig deep to go find it. This is old footage from many, many years ago. I think 2013 or 2014, 15. And it's, in fact, this is where Devin is talking. Let me go mute my mic and...
Recall is fairly unstable. We're using FusionFall Retro as a way to bridge the gap between now and the release of the full version of FusionFall Legacy. Ergo, we no longer see the need to release a single-player FusionFall experience. The FFL demo is, as of now, cancelled and being replaced by FusionFall Retro. So what does this mean for FusionFall Legacy? Well, we're excited to announce that some big changes are coming to the FusionFall universe. We've decided that it would be best to move Legacy in a new direction. Now that the original game is set to be available to play at any time, FusionFall Legacy will be a fully reimagined version of the original game, based on concepts and ideas that the original team wasn't able to fully realize due to technical limitations of the time. Expect a fully redesigned, larger, more coherent world with new areas and content, as well as new features, more stable multiplayer, and constant updates to make sure things always stay fresh. Check out these early screenshots of the Legacy team in order to ensure that our networking is as good as it can be. Both FusionFall Retro and FusionFall Legacy will be multiplayer from the get.
Alright, okay, so this is actually really cool. Let me just mute this. Yeah, is this the one? Okay. Just waiting. Okay. Alright, let's go take some screenshots of this. And again, this is outdated information, so it may not happen. There's a reason why it's unlisted, you know? Now here's another one right here. And here's another one right here. And is there another one? Oh, yeah, there's another one. And yeah, it's on VLC. And I guess you can get this one as well. Is my... Okay, good, my mic is recording. Okay. So that's really cool. So let's go look into these photos. So these areas that could potentially be inside of FusionFall Legacy. So again, I already showed you the photos of that monster or Kraken island, and it's inside of FusionFall Legacy. So again, we could probably see these areas inside of Retro. And the reason why I bring this up is because they could probably use the expansion for 2020 as a way to test the waters to see if the community likes the area. So if the community likes the area or if they dislike the area, they're going to give the feedback to the developers, and the developers can make adjustments to make that area better once FusionFall Legacy comes out. So if you think about it, this expansion, it's kind of like alpha/beta testing FusionFall Legacy, but instead of just like a few select players, it's like the entire Retro player base. You know, they might just insert these areas inside of the game. So again, this was a former concept idea that was never implemented inside of FusionFall, inside of the original FusionFall, and this is something that the FusionFall universe developer team has actually implemented. It's really cool. They got the lighthouse tower, they got the Kraken thing, and this was based off the City of Lost Children lighthouse in Fu. And we have ourselves right here the Star Trek DS9 clock. Another pretty interesting area. This looks like it's a place probably at downtown. Very futuristic. Kind of reminds me of like City Point. But there's like a Star Trek clock. Pretty cool. Another one right here would be from the Matrix Revolutions. And as you can see right here, this kind of looks like Mojo's telescope right here. Kind of hard to kind of analyze what this all fundamentally looks like. But these are planned areas that were, no, these were concept ideas that were kind of planned to be inside of the game, but they originally scraped off. And what the FusionFall universe team is trying to do is they're trying to implement these concept ideas that never came into fruition. So we have ourselves an inspiration from the Dark Crystal Astrolabe, again, which is really cool. Kind of looks like it's from the Darklands. As you can see, these islands are floating. There's a tree here. Really cool. And we have ourselves this last one right here. I don't know what this is. It looks like kind of like a fountain. I don't know. But again, we can probably see those areas. It might not just be Townsville Zoo, Townsville Aquarium, but these areas as well, or they might be completely outside of my realm of knowledge and completely subvert our expectations. Now, what's interesting about this would have to be okay, let me go show you something. Monster Island FusionFall soundtrack. So there's a unreleased soundtrack that Devin managed to go discover, and he posted it 7 years ago, in fact, on August 14, 2012. I like to go come back to this video, but because it's actually really cool, I'm going to hope you enjoyed that soundtrack. It says right here from Devin himself, Monster Island cannot be heard anywhere in the game. Maldar, Conqueror of All Worlds, another Cartoon Network game, features a song with a sped up tempo. Really fascinating. This could fit to the final battle with Fuse. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so again, that's with the areas. With two, okay, let's talk about the two additional infected zones. So again, makes it so similar to items, right? With two brand new infected zones that are going to be planned, there's going to be racing for that area, and this is actually going to be this is something that I'm going to kind of predict, because and my reasoning for this comes from due to how long it took for the racing update to arrive. This was something that the community requested since the beginning when FusionFall Retro came out. Was infected zone racing, and after I don't know, like 6+ months, they finally did release it. And one of the main reasons why is because it's incredibly difficult to actually place pods inside of an infected zone. Now, it really is very difficult. So it makes me kind of wonder how they're going to design infected zone racing for these planned infected zones. And we're gonna definitely see some competition with all-time scores. I can already see Cherry Lime or someone else already making the videos once it comes out. I'm looking forward to your tutorial video, Cherry. And yeah, that's pretty much it for infected zones. It makes me kind of wonder like what kind of infected zones we can possibly see. Maybe we can look into our legacy photos right here. There's not really much that we can see here. Oh yeah, and another potential area they could potentially use would be like would have to be like the oh, I got kind of startled. Would have to be like the tar pits, which is another picture of the day, one of the first 10, I believe, which is found, which is I think one of the canceled areas from the original that never really made it. This could potentially be an area. It's located around nowhere or like Area 51, so we can possibly see that. I talk about that very much in depth with my Picture of the Day live stream series. And yeah, so nothing really too much to talk about here. But infected zones, I'm really kind of looking forward for the items, and I'll be right back. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, there's going to be, with racing, there's going to be new items. So again, let's look into like the item guide, racing, and it makes kind of wonder like what the difficulty is going to be, right? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be intermediate? Is it going to be advanced? And I think if they want to like appeal to the entire community, they should definitely make it like at least intermediate. Understandably, it is an area that is like beyond level 36, so I can definitely understand why it's going to be like for advanced users. Why it's going to be for advanced users, for like similar to like the Dark Glade as well as for the Green Maw. On average, like the average infected zone has like 6 items, so we can potentially see minimum around like 12 items in total once these infected zones come out, and once racing is here. So yeah, that's nothing really too much to talk about. I know some people are looking forward to racing, and yeah, let's talk about the next thing that is also of good news. So more than 10 new character NPCs. So this is including some characters from series not currently featured in Retro. So this is actually a good thing because again, I mentioned Generator Rex, Adventure Time, as well as possibly some other characters that are not that have never even appeared in the original FusionFall game. Kind of like I'm talking about, Steven Universe or like We Bare Bears. Now the possibility of these shows that came out when FusionFall got canceled or would be like copyright concerns. So that's something to also consider about. But I think the much more likely possibility is that we might just see Generator Rex and Adventure Time, which is not bad at all, because a lot of people definitely want, especially Adventure Time inside of the game. And, we already have a lot of items for that. Let's just go back into the items, to the item wiki here at the FusionFall wiki. We have so much representation for Adventure Time. And there's also, like Symbiotic Titan, so like the Nickel Bottom set, that is from Adventure Time, right? We already have that from Van Rook. I wouldn't be too surprised if like the golden eggs become even more irrelevant, similar to like what happened to like the golden what's it called? Similar to what happened to the Battle Ready Nemesis set, which was again part of the Golden Egg set, but when the Racing update came out, they also re-released there. So again, I wouldn't be too surprised if like the Van Rook set is going to be given out as like an item, as an item set, by doing missions. So and there's also again like chowder item, like we could probably have like Snitchel or like Mung Da. So like the possibilities are pretty much infinite when you think about it, or confined within the Cartoon Network universe. So there's a lot of representation. So more than 10 new character NPCs. So that's something to look forward to as well. Now the question here is like, are they going to be like filler NPCs, or like are they actually going to be like main characters from the show? Are they going to, like for example, like we had like that number 20,000 dude, which is like a minor character within the Kids Next Door. Are they including that, for example, inside of this count? Or again, is it going to be like 10 brand new characters that are actually main characters? Now, I think in terms of potential brand new characters, again, just looking into Picture of the Day and as well as FusionFall Legacy, we could probably see characters such as, forgot this guy's name. We could probably see this guy from Camp Laszlo. We can possibly see Mr. White and Mr. Black from, Johnny Test. And we could definitely probably see Juniper Lee's younger brother, as well as his dog, as well as his magical dog, which is apparently a very ancient dog who guides Juniper Lee, and also possibly the rest of the Gangrene gang. So here's Ace, Belladonna, and the other characters as well. Something to look forward to with these future expansions. Another characters that can possibly reappear would have to be Major Glory, would have to be Super Cow, as well as Captain Melonhead or Johnny 2x4, as well as Monkey. So there's a lot of potential on the kind of characters that they can introduce. There's so many characters that can be placed inside of the game. Oh, and another thing that can possibly happen, just going back into the area. So just assuming if they're going to add the Townsville Aquarium into the expansion, we could definitely see some missions relating to, Sticky Beard, because, this definitely is at the aquarium and we have Fusion Sticky Beard here. So there's a lot of potential here. Another character that we can potentially see that has never appeared in the original FusionFall would have to be from, from Gumball, right? From Gumball. Yeah, I also remember he has a super duper long name. He's also, so as well as, BMO. We could possibly see BMO. We could possibly see Muscle Man and High Five Ghost. We can possibly see Finn, and not just that, a remodeled version of Finn. There's a whole bunch of potential with what we can do here. Again, we can possibly see Boomer or Jackie. We could possibly see Robot Jones. He's here located at inside of Mandark's house, or probably inside of his research building. We could possibly see this dude right here. He's like a general from the show Sheep in the City. And in the background, there's Mr. White. And also, another highly anticipated one would be Rolf. Another character we could possibly see. So there's just so much room with the stuff that we could possibly envision with this, and as well as, for example, Drew Saturday from the Secret Saturdays. That's a remodeled version. Another area which is actually very interesting would have to be Mount Whitehead. So again, just going back into picture of the day, the caption for this, I forgot, but it's relating to Mount Whitehead. And this definitely gives a lot of excitement for the community because, as almost everyone knows, Mount Blackhead is the social and trading hub of the game. And it'd be really cool if we can actually have another hub as well, And not just that, there's snow, right? There's snow. Like, who doesn't want to hang out in a place where there's snow? So yeah, there's a lot. Let's see. Let's look into. Here's the Watterson family, I believe. Definitely possibly see that. Robot Jones. Lumpy, Lumpy Space Princess, not Total Drama Island. That's not possible. Lumpy Space Princess, we can possibly see, or just basically any character. If you're seeing what I mean here, that, or like Chicken, any character that's announced for Legacy. This is something to look forward to. Here's Van Kleis. Here is Snitzel Nano. Here is Tom. Here is the Symbiotic Titan model, as well as Jake. There's so many characters that we could potentially interact with in the future. Here's even like the nude the nude Nano, as well as Mordecai. Again, these photos are actually very out of date. Marcelin, Jake, Laszlo from Camp Kidney, Lady Raincorn, Knuckles. Here's a remodeled version of Jake the dog, Gunter, Gumball, and some pretty cool outfits right here with Fusion Schnitzel, Princess Bubblegum, Ice King, and yeah, there's just so much. And here's Devin with a beard, and here's a really cool one with Fuse. Okay, so there's a lot. It definitely is a lot. And another thing is, again, including some characters from series not currently featured in Retro. So this is definitely something we can look forward to, and I guess a good reason to live for. So we're almost done. And what's interesting here is that I've been doing this live stream now for 2 hours and 21 minutes. And, you can read this post in like 5 minutes, but there's so much more inside of this post. The possibilities are really infinite. So let's continue reading on. This is not a super massive expansion. and that's done on purpose. We want to be able to develop this smaller expansion and effectively prove it can be done before we wind up breaking off more than we can chew. Should we pull this off with relative ease and success, it would be reasonable to expect more expansions down the line. Wow. With possibly more levels, nanos, areas, characters, and etc. than before. Whoa. So however, the development of this expansion is going to be something we've never done before, because again, like, there was no such thing as 4 additional levels, and it's going to be a lot of work. As a result, we'd like to slow down with regular content updates. This is kind of like I'm not kind of happy with that, but I'll explain in a bit. And events in order to better focus our efforts on making the expansion. There may still be updates here and there, and there may even be new content updates that tie into the expansion as we make it, but in large, they will be less frequent and feature a bit less content. So again, let's break this down. What I find interesting here is Devin is stating that this is not a super massive expansion, but that's kind of contradictory. I mean, this is 4 brand new levels, right? New areas, new infected zones, new items, new monsters, new missions, new guide armor, new plots, new areas, to hang out. That's actually really cool, and I find kind of odd that he states that it's not a super massive expansion. I mean, if this is not a super massive expansion, like, what is, like, 36 more levels? Don't take that out of context. So yeah, they want to be able to develop the smaller expansion and effectively prove it can be done. So that's good to know, and it would be reasonable to expect more expansions down the line. So it's not just levels 37, 38, 39, 40. And again, like in the beginning of this, when I was talking about like the guide gear, for example, where there's only 4 missions, but like guide gear there's only 4 levels, and guide gear only has 6. We can definitely, if everything goes well, and if we're being optimistic, we can definitely see more levels, right? Because we got to complete that guide gear set, right? And I'm kind of looking forward who's going to be the first level 40 in the game. I'm kind of placing my bets on Champ Dragon Fighter. I know him very well. I've talked with him on voice chat for many, many hours. So if we pull this off, so yeah, that's good. So it might not. So again, it might not just be Johnny Bravo. It might not just be Flapjack. It might be if it goes really well, right? If it goes really well, we can definitely see the rest of these other nanos. Why are you not? Okay. We can definitely see the rest of these nanos included inside of the game. And not just that, but legacy nanos such as Larry 3000, Boomer, Jackie, Dracula, Dexter's dad, and so much more. Yeah. And it's definitely going to be a lot of work. So again, you also have to remember that these people are doing their work for free, and they're treating it as a hobby, So it's not a full-time job, and we just have to be patient. I mean, for example, I'm going to talk about this later with like the time slot update right here. Like for example, at the time of this live stream, the time slot update was supposed to like come out this month, like the first or second week of this month, but it never really came out. But they are because of delays, right? So again, we could probably see if we're just being realistic and not optimistic, we can probably not see the expansion until probably April. But from now, from October, November, December, January, February, March, we can likely see some development regarding this expansion. So something to very much look forward to, and I look forward to more of these as they come. And as always, I'm going to do these very in-depth videos that a 15-minute video can't really cover. And if you're watching this in the future, you can always, watch me talk faster, like 1.5 or 2 times faster. So as a result, we like to slow down with regular content updates. Now, this is the part that I personally don't like because, again, let's just go to developer's blog, and let's go here. All right, so actually, in fact, this was a minor patch notes update. It was very minor. So like the last real update was this was also this was a pretty significant update because it introduced the vehicles. Let's see, let's go into home, and minor update, art club, code items. It's like the last real update, to be honest, was like August 5, or if you really want to be kind of mean, the last real update was on June 22nd. So it's been a very long time. Or let's be nice and say the last update was August 21st, 2019. Let's do a date duration calculator and just let you know how long it's been since then. So let's use today, and let's look into 8/21 2019, and the last update was 58 days ago, or 8 weeks and 2 days. And I think this is probably like the longest time we haven't had an update ever. So if they're going to keep on doing this, it's actually in a way bad for the community because we don't like waiting a very long time. I am aware that there is a minority of people who actually like waiting for this because eventually if you wait long, then we can probably expect a major update, right? So, and welcome back, Spencer. We're almost done with the live stream. I went through a lot of topics, but yeah, 60 days without an update, man. It's bad for the community. And if they're going to consistently do that, that's just bad. Because why is it bad? Because when there hasn't been an update in a long time, the community gets pessimistic. The morale drops. Forum activity drops. The amount of users drops. Activity on Discord servers drop. Even the largest ones, such as mine or Prizzy's server, there's not a lot of activity. So I'm hoping that they kind of don't go down that direction, but at the same time they do, because it's necessary for those really big updates. And I'm kind of wanting. I actually made this thread on the forums. Something that we could possibly do to, while we're in between updates is to, for example, have another Solomon hat item, right? Because the Solomon hat, it's only dropped by gold crates, and I think it's about time to have another Solomon hat type item. It just gives the community something to do while we're waiting. I have this thread, but there's nothing really too important with the rest of this. But you know, like the pros of waiting for a long time is that they get to focus on making quality content, and it's not just like temporary relief. Like, would you rather have like small updates, or would you rather have one large update? And you know, there's a thread right here. Here's a thread right here. Updates, Naruto pins, 1000. And again, there's like a minority of people that kind of like waiting a long time. But I know the wait can be excruciating for some, but it's nice to know that some users can actually appreciate the wait. It's not uncommon for the next update to start development immediately following a brand new one, so the wait is just as hard for me as many. My father has just left. Hold on. Thanks to my dad for being quiet, or mostly quiet, while he was here eating his lunch. He likes to watch Netflix. And yeah, I had this post right here. Yeah, as a YouTuber for this small community, it can get quite hard some days to grow the channel, most notably when there's a drought. Unfortunately, in the last 60 days, I've managed to obtain more than 100 subscribers, which is honestly more on the low side. It went from 350 subscribers something to nearly 500. New updates allow content creators such as myself to create new content for the community, even if it's just elementary tutorial videos that can be created in less than 10 minutes. It helps. Outside of creating videos, I also run a server. Activity is somewhat at a crawl. There's nothing much to talk about for FusionFall outside of waiting for the next update. We gained more than 100 members since the last update, which is also on the low side. It's not just my server, but other FusionFall servers I interact with daily. We're nearing 60 days since the last major patch notes update, and it can definitely lower morale. Now, on the positive side, even with the sharp decline in growth and activity for my channel and server, growth is still growth. Additionally, I was able to create videos I wanted to create for the game. I made videos such as calling all designers, which is a lot of fun, and picture of the day, which I'm still working on right now. Fan-made music, as well as update the most neglected parts of the universal item guide. Lastly, I think the best is that I can focus more on my personal life. So this game takes many hours from my daily life. So with the latest tweet regarding Jeff the Spider and Fred Burger, it's making me feel happy. Perhaps one of the reasons why there's been such a long wait is similar to the racing update. The racing update was such a massive addition to the game. We waited a long time for it to release. With Time Squad and Halloween, the devs are focusing on two major things at once. It takes time to make quality, long-lasting content. We should all remember that they're creating the game for free as their hobby, while they work on their other major responsibilities in life. Yeah, so Spencer's stating devlogs should fortunately keep talking about the game and upcoming content. It helped Legacy discussion live for a long time while that game had no actual game to show. Yes, I definitely do agree with what you said, Spencer. And I think, you know, we just going back into like picture of the day. The main reason why they stopped doing picture of the day was because it was apparently taking a lot of time on their hands, and I believe it's because they were showing content, but there was actually not a lot of content to show. But yeah, but instead of like picture of the day, why not call it picture of the month, or why not call it picture every 3 months? You know, just give it some sort of update for not just Legacy, but also for this upcoming expansion, which Devin stated in his post that there will be more to talk about. So the future is bright. The future is something to look forward to. And I already said that they're going to focus less on event updates and focus more on permanent content. So what's interesting here is there may still be updates here and there, and there may even be new content updates that tie into the expansion as we make it. but in large, they will be less frequent and feature a bit less content. So again, like makes you kind of wonder with the time slot update, which is now finally confirmed. I wonder if they're going to leave clues for the expansion within these missions, something to go and investigate. What's next? Actually, there's still so much I want to talk about. We're not even close to being done. There's probably like another 30 minutes or another hour of talking about this. I still have to talk about some of the stuff I have right here. So, yeah. So after I read this, we're going to continue. I'm gonna finish off the outline, which I actually didn't really touch, but it still contains some important information. So don't fret. We've been developing the previously teased time squad update for some time now. So the statement confirms it's no longer speculation, but it's actually confirmation that the time squad update will happen, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And though it has been delayed a bit, we're still planning to pour everything we have into it to make sure it fits in just like our previous updates. We also have a smaller content update planned to be made alongside the expansion and released sometime before it, both to tie in some plot lines and help keep the game active with new updates. So again, let's go break this down. Time Squad is confirmed, but it has been delayed. So again, with the overall picture of the expansion, there might be delays, right? So don't expect yourself to see that. Don't expect yourself in the first 3 months of 2020 that we're going to have the expansion. I think much more likely it's going to be during the second, third, and fourth quarter of the year. So each quarter is 3 months. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So we also have a smaller content update. So it kind of makes you kind of wondering, like, what's that going to be? And how small is it going to be? I mean, like Devin stated, this is not a super massive expansion. So, like, I don't know. All right. And we also like to change things up a bit and occasionally provide dev blogs featuring a sample of what you can expect to see in the expansion. So this is something to look forward to. This is kind of like, I don't know, like a picture of the day, or, kind of like the FusionFall Legacy developers blog, like this stuff right here. So we can definitely expect to see more posts at the FusionFall Retro developer blog section, probably posted alternating between Devin, Dogon, and Prizzy. Statistically speaking, it's been Devin who's been posting the last major updates. So we have reason to believe, using the past to predict our future, that Devin will be the one posting most of them, most of these developer blogs. Okay. So, yeah, most likely second or third quarter, in my opinion. Do we know any other nanos outside of Bravo and Flapjack? Oh, Joe, I actually talked about that, I don't know, for like 30 minutes. Let me just talk about that. So some confirmed nanos for FusionFall Legacy, which we can probably see in FusionFall Retro, would have to be, for example, Belladonna right here, as well as Dracula as a potential nano we could see for the expansion. And just note here that in Devin's post, if things go well, they're going to add in more nanos, more levels, more areas. So assuming the expansion comes out and we have our 4 nanos and it's not the nanos that you want them to be, if everything goes well, we can expect with good reason that these other nanos are going to come out, such as Dracula, Belladonna, Jackie from Foster's Home, as well as Boomer as well. as well as Tom. Yes, I agree with Spencer. Tom might have his own Nano, and again, this is actually inside of the outline that I want to go talk about. So thank you for bringing up Tom, and some other Nanos that we could possibly expect. Again, would have to be FusionFall Nanos, but we could probably expect would be all right, let's retro. Yeah, would be these Nanos right here. And I talked earlier when we were talking about the Nanos that, you know, like that the missions for like Flapjack as well as Johnny Bravo, they're like there's a good reason to believe that it's not going to be a copy and paste from the original, because the main reason why is because Flapjack's Nano mission is like at Leaky Lake. Flapjack is no longer at Leaky Lake. Johnny Bravo's Nano mission was located at Orchid Bay and Bravo Beach, but he's no longer there. Right? He's been kidnapped by pirates, I believe. And you know, it's been heavily hinted, as Spencer stated, that Tom from Toonami is going to be involved within this expansion, which I'm going to talk about real soon. I'm excited for the expansion. I am glad they are delaying it rather than releasing an unreleased product. Yeah, so again, I kind of want to play devil's advocate, and you know, you can definitely understand why a lot of people can have their morale lowered when there hasn't been an update in a long time. But again, you cannot rush a quality product, and if they do release a rust product, the community can definitely tell, and the community will definitely not like that. You can definitely tell, for example, with like the Ben 10 update, they really took a lot of their time to make it as polished as possible, and the community, everyone liked that, you know? So it takes time. It takes time. But I think one way they can do that, which Devin has already alluded to, is by making more of these updates for this expansion. All right, so yeah, we can definitely see these, and yeah, like new monsters, new characters. We already talked about that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to the most with the new characters. I think I'm kind of like in the minority, which is kind of odd because I actually thought it would be the majority. I'm inside of the group of people who prefer leveling up and doing the campaign, doing the missions, than like the late game where you just, you know, mindlessly grinding items. You know, I very much enjoy the campaign. I like seeing the new characters, reading the mission dialogue, and just having a good time with the stuff. Okay, we also like to change things up a bit. New character snippets of areas and missing plot lines. We also like to tear down some of the development process and basically show off how some of the stuff works and how it's made and implemented into the game. So we could possibly see forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot. Let's just move on. I expect to see some. Okay, yeah, we can possibly see that, I don't know, like Prizzified or the FusionFall Universe YouTube channel, they're going to upload videos showing how interesting and how difficult it is to actually implement these ideas inside of the game, because it's very difficult to transform an idea into actuality. Even very simple things. I was watching this interesting video about AAA games, and very simple things such as like creating a fountain. You know, like you just pass by it, right? That takes a lot of that takes many hours to do, and that's just a fountain, or like a bench. That takes a while to do. You know, and this is a small team. People are forgetting that the FusionFall Universe team is actually small. and also they're also forgetting that there's actually, I believe, like 2 separate teams. There's one team focusing on FusionFall Retro, and there's another team focusing on FusionFall Legacy. So something to go consider. So Spell stated, I think you can expect Stormalong Harbor in the next expansion. Flapjack is there for sure, plus we have previous hints. Yes, I do agree with you. So again, yeah, Stormalong Harbor. Actually, it's a good thing you mentioned Stormalong Harbor, because there's actually this interesting post from Zenpak, which is one of the developers for FusionFall Retro, I believe. Zenpak. He doesn't post often, so you can actually find his. Did you forget to put something to search for? That's odd. Ah, here it is. So here's a outdated post from June 8, 2016. Here's from Zenpak. It doesn't post often. It literally only has 14 posts. So I decided to try making Stormalong Harbor from Flapjack. I will update once I make significant progress. Feel free to criticize so I can fix any mistakes or add anything I forget. He doesn't know how to... that's understandable. He doesn't use the forums often. So... okay, let's just open this up with Paint. And if you're enjoying the live stream, please leave a like, and please join a Discord server, and please subscribe and check out the Universal Item Guide. The links are inside of the description. All right, there's a whole bunch of these. Oh, I got a replicate right here. Okay. Alright, so here is like the base platform, I believe, of Stormalong Harbor. And here's more of that stuff. So imagine there's water here. There's the boat that's just floating there. I guess he's making this stuff on Blender. I don't know how to make this stuff. So, and we can definitely see Stormalong Harbor here, and it makes me kind of wonder, like, where is Stormalong Harbor going to be located? Is it going to be located, for example, like around here, or is it going to be located, around here, or is it going to be located, around here? Like, where is it going to be located, right? If it is going to be planned. So something to also look forward to. It's a pretty interesting photo. So this is from 2016, right? Let's go read what he says right here. That's the Stormalong base. That was the first photo. And a suspended boat, some boats and platforms on the back of the harbor. Added low detail buildings and a candy barrel. So pretty cool stuff. Cool. And yeah, personally, I feel like they should focus on one project and then move on to Legacy. Yeah, there's literally 2 people that are there are literally 2 people that are doing this. I know who those 2 people are. I know who they are. I can look into my thing. We also like to change things up a bit and occasionally provide devlogs featuring a sample of what you can expect to see in the expansion. Or if you already read that, we're hoping everyone understands and is excited for this new direction we plan to take Retro. It may be some time before we're able to show anything off, and we're expecting a relatively long development cycle for the expansion, but we're hoping playing in the future, we're eager to get this in your hands. Okay, so it's been 2 hours and 51 minutes. I've read the post. However, we're not done yet. We still have to go through this outline. A lot of the stuff I already talked about, so we're going to watch the ink tank video, and just a part of it. So we're almost done with the live stream, about like 30 minutes left, I think. It's been 3 hours now. Ink tank, FusionFall. And I was watching this. I can't play the video because, you know, copyright. But definitely check this video out. There's a lot of interesting gems here, 12 minutes and 6 seconds long. And another nano that we can probably expect for the expansion, or like the future expansions, would have to be like the Ben 10 Nano, which can be shown right here. Let me go and
you defeat their evil fusion counterparts. Help the user jump heights the player could not normally achieve. It's assumed that this nano was being developed just as Alien Force was gearing into production, as this nano was actually voiced by Yuri Lowenthal doing an impression of young Ben, rather than Tara Strong, the original voice of young Ben. I'll play some of his original audio for you.
Hero time! High jumps rule! I'm back! Jump! Ben! Jump power!
Along with young Ben are nanos for Ghost Freak and Upgrade, both of which have completed models and animations, but were
So again, we could probably see like classic Ben 10 and classic Gwen to appear, and I talked about that in depth with like the Time Squad update, because it deals with time travel, right? And it would be pretty cool if we can have like these classic versions to also appear in the same timeline with the Alien Force gang, and just to go complete the trio, add in like the classic Kevin Levin look as well. But yeah, there's Ben 10 Nano. There's also Upgrade, as well as Ghost Freak Nanos. We probably expect that. And the return of Classic Ben. I already talked about the Alien X Nano. Let's go look into Way Big. So here's, this is actually planned. Here's like the Way Big Nano with Ultimate Big Chill. These were just teasers, which was supposed to be teased. And here's like that Vilgax armor set that I was talking about earlier in the live stream, with the Luther Fall Angel video. And we can talk about this. The Absolution, Wave Blue Sea, Stormalong Harbor, and Monster Island. We can play this.
Garments were created and intended to use for the expansion, although when unused. Many other areas of Cartoon Network had planned expansions as well. Tom from Toonami was going to be a character, and his ship, the Absolution, was going to be an area in the game. The expansion was mostly based around a region called the Way Blue Sea, and contained areas like the Stormalong Harbor and Monster Island. Tom's ship was going to be crashed into the ocean and taking on water, as seen in this concept art. However, after Gragon stepped down and Cartoon Network took a hold of FusionFall's production, many changes were made to the game. This was dubbed the New Beginnings of.
So as you can see, one of the scraped ideas was the Absolution, Stormalong Harbor, and the Way Blue Sea. So again, we could probably see in the expansion that Tom is going to have a role, and these are probably going to be the areas. So it might be Stormalong Harbor as well as the Absolution as areas for ourselves, as well as areas for ourselves to go, visit. And what'd be really cool is that you know, just going back into DeviantArt. Right. Looking into Devin's photos. See all. And you know, we have here's a really cool area that Devin did way back in 2013. It's like a really collapsed Mount Blackhead. Looks really cool. I don't think that's gonna happen in FusionFall Retro, but you know, yeah, be really cool. If we can have this armor, and we already have this armor as well. It's been leaked. It was actually leaked by Devin accidentally. So let's go and duplicate, and let's go search and Fusion. Okay. By user, infinite possibilities, permission. Yes, here it is. February 18, 2019. Okay, it was around that time. All right. Fusion Tom. Okay, we can't find it, but what I can tell you is this Fusion set exists. So if there is going to be an Absolution expansion, we could definitely see this suit exists, and we might be able to go fight ourselves a Fusion Tom, as well as collect the gear for Tom as well. Johnny and Tom, best friends. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. As well as, you know, Johnny Bravo and Samurai Jack. You know, there's actually this little scene, Johnny Bravo and Samurai Jack. It's not really related to this, but there was a scene where they were at the laundry. Actually, we should not look into this. It's a little bromance. It's from a very long time. I can't really play it, but you know, 1.6 million views, where Johnny Bravo and Samurai Jack were both at the laundry station, and they were making some awkward eye contact. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that's nice. I recommend you watching that. Yeah, so the Absolution, Way Blue Sea, Stormalong Harbor, and Monster Island, we can definitely probably see that inside of the expansion. I already talked about that inside of this live stream in depth. I already talked about all of these. Already talked about all of that. Already showed the footage, patch notes. Yeah, patch notes from Prizzy about Johnny Bravo going missing. So FusionFall. Okay, let's go into the forums. And let's go into I'm sorry, no, it's okay, it's in the forums, but it's inside of the developer's blog. And it was posted by Prizzy. And I think it's not this one, though. It's been a long time. Where is it? I can't find it for some reason. Bravo? if you're hearing something in the background, that's the trash collector. I can't find it. That's really odd. Or is it from search Prizzy Fied Johnny Bravo? How about Devin? Ah, here it is. Oh, it was not Prizzy. It was actually... I'll see you later, Spencer. It was actually a Devin. But, Johnny Bravo, it says right here, he went missing on June 22nd, 2019. That was a long time ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been like 4 months now, man. And it says right here, Johnny Bravo has gone missing. He was last spotted swimming off the coast in range of an old-timey wooden pirate ship. If anyone has any information, please immediately report to the proper authorities, whoever they're supposed to be. I was talking about this with like Time Squad update. I was kind of speculating if it's going to be like Larry 3000, like the Time Squad, because they actually are, authorities, or it could be, Tom and the Absolution, or just something else entirely. But yeah, it says right here, he was last spotted swimming off the coast in range of an old-timey wooden pirate ship. Oh, okay, so in the expansion, we could probably see a wooden pirate ship, right? So something to also consider. And fixing, already talked about that. Changing powers, new racing gear. And, okay, let's talk about... we already briefly talked about that. Let's talk about post-2012 shows. This is probably going to be the last topic. And we're going to be done. We're going to be almost done with this live stream. So, post 2012, or post 2000, or what about cartoons from? Because FusionFall got shut down, I think on, was it 2013 or 2012? FusionFall. It got shut down on. August 29, 2 days after my birthday, 2013. The game's servers were shut down. Okay. So, what about cartoons that came out after August 29, 2013? It makes me kind of wonder, and I think the answer to that is I think it's unlikely, but it's not very unlikely. So for shows such as like Steven Universe, We Bear Bears, there's a possibility that they can come into the game. But again, maybe, I don't know, like the developers might have to go ask permission from the Cartoon Network Studios if they can add these characters into their fan-made, fan-made free game, because they're not allowed to make any profit from this game whatsoever. Otherwise, they're going to get in legal trouble, and there's going to be like a cease and desist, and FusionFall is taken down. So, it's not completely eliminated. It's not very unlikely. It's just unlikely because, for example, the developers have consistently demonstrated to the community that they can turn the impossible or the very unlikely into reality itself. Because if you can remember, for a long time, we thought that we couldn't add in brand new items. But, for example, in the birthday bash, they added in brand new items. We once thought that they weren't able to add in brand new missions, but they once did that with Canismus, as well as by adding Dracula into the game. That was another significant milestone. We once thought for a long time that we can't add in new NPCs, but we managed to do that. Or we once thought for a long time we can't add in new areas, right? Or new monsters. But consistently the developers have consistently proved us wrong. So I think on a positive note, we can see these characters come into the game. But again, it's not impossible, just unlikely that it's going to happen. All right, so that's pretty much this expansion. If you have any questions right now, I will wait 3 minutes. I will wait 3 minutes. In the comments, if you have any questions, please comment them right now, and I'll try my best to go answer them. In the meantime, if you're enjoying this live stream, please leave a like, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Discord server, and check out the Universal Item Guide. So Spill stated, then again, I strongly believe Stormalong will be added due to Flapjack and Bubby returning to Stormalong, stated in a dev blog. We also know about an existing Bubby infected zone. So yeah, we could probably also have like Bubby as an actual infected zone, which would be kind of odd. Like if an infected zone inside of a living being, like if it's that infected, wouldn't Bubby actually die? But then again, she's like a really huge whale, right? So I guess I don't know. But this was a lot of fun. I haven't done a live stream in a long while, and I'm definitely looking forward to this update, towards this expansion. These are reasons to live for, my friends. One of the reasons why I am here, why I still am here, is because, for example, I look forward to the future. I look forward, for example, when it comes to watching new Marvel films, I look forward to watching new forms of entertainment, new video games, new things to explore. And that's something great. So it looks like there hasn't been really any new comments. So again, this is Infinite Possibilities. You can call me Brian, and I will see you again next time. Bye.